And here we're going to be looking at a rather interesting laptop. This is the Toshiba E105-S1402. This is a laptop that's exclusively found at the Best Buy stores, as it's part of the Best Buy Blue Label program. Now, I already did an unboxing video of this earlier, and we saw the contents inside, and we talked a little bit about the Blue Label program, but I'll review the Blue Label program a little bit and the specs and outside parts of this again, just to refresh the memory. And the Blue Label program at Best Buy is a survey that was done by Best Buy to customers that wanted to have specific items in a particular laptop. And so the customers made these statements in a forum about what they wanted, and then both Toshiba and Hewlett-Packard took these requirements that the customers set and then actually built laptops based on what they wanted, and this is the result of that. And so, like I say, it's only available at Best Buy stores. You really can't find it online. The only ones you'll find online are people that have already bought one from Best Buy typically and are reselling it, or didn't want it anymore and want to get rid of it. And so, the E105 has quite a few of those that the Blue Label set. It has long battery life, which is one of the ones they wanted. It gets up to 5 hours of battery life on the battery included in this. They also wanted to have HDMI and eSATA ports, which they do include on this. They also wanted to have something which is starting to become a little more popular now, which is the Backlit Keyboard. So they went ahead and put a Backlit Keyboard on this as well. And they wanted to make sure it was lightweight, and this comes in at under 5 pounds, so it is a lightweight notebook. And then there's some others, just generic ones like performance and things like that, and it does add up on here in terms of performance. So now that we've got that cleared up, let's actually talk about the specs that the E105 has. Since we were talking about performance, it has the Intel Core 2 Duo 2.2 gigahertz processor with the Centrino 2 technology. You have 4 gigabytes of memory, a 320 gigabyte hard disk drive, 802.11 ABG and NDRAFT, and Bluetooth. So you've got all your wireless connectivity there. There's a 14.1 inch display. Resolution, I think, is 1280 by 800 or something around there. Now this has the Intel GMA 4500M HD graphics chip, so generic graphics. It's not going to do intense gaming or anything like that, but it will do basic stuff, like games that aren't too demanding or any other 3D applications that don't require a lot of graphics power. And you've got the Realtek high definition audio on here. And let's see what else is there. Oh, you've got a fingerprint reader between the mouse buttons. And other than that, it also has Vista Home Premium 64-bit, obviously, because of that 4 gigabyte memory upgrade. And the Backlit Keyboard. I don't want to forget the Backlit Keyboard. So, let's go over the exterior of this to show where everything is. We'll turn it this way and look at this side. We have our Kensington lock slide, and this is our AC adapter port, one USB 2.0 port, and here's our DVD-RW drive with label flash. Now, label flash is different from LightScribe that you see on a lot of the HP and Gateway machines. Well, excuse me, Gateway uses label flash, but you can't use label flash discs and LightScribe discs interchangeably. I've already tried that. You can't put a LightScribe disc in a label flash drive and expect it to be able to burn an image on it. It's because they're two different technologies, and the label flash discs look like they have a blue, surface on them where the image is written, as opposed to the LightScribe disc where it kind of got a gold layer that it writes the image on. But other than that, this is all the ports that are really on this side. We go to the front, move it around, and we have our two stereo speakers, one here and one over there. And I know a lot of people say they're small, and yes, they are small. You're gonna expect to have some sound distortion and things like that at high volume settings. Now, in the second part of this, I'll show something that I have done with previous laptops that have little speakers like this that are combined with the Realtek HD audio and can actually clear up some of that distortion and static that you get with one of the equalizer settings, so we'll get into that a little bit later. We also have our indicator lights for power and AC adapter, hard disk drive activity, battery, and the SD card, which is right here. That's your multimedia card reader. You also have a headphone out, which also doubles as an SPDIF if you need it. There's the microphone jack next to it. We'll turn it around some more. Move on to this side. We have another USB 2.0 port, the eSATA port, which also doubles as a USB 2.0 port. Another interesting item they added on here was an FM tuner. So this has a built-in FM tuner, and that's the receptacle for where the little antenna plugs into, which is nothing more than a little stub of wire. So there's nothing big to that. 10, 100, 1000 Ethernet, so you got gigabit Ethernet. And next to that is that HDMI port I mentioned. Then you have your cooling vent. There isn't anything on the back. It's all flush on the back. I also forgot to mention about the exterior that they use. It's different from the fusion finish that they use on the other satellite notebooks. Usually those are dark colored, and this one here kind of uses a gray and silver combination with its fusion finish. And also it's a little more generic in its design than the satellites that kind of have a rounded out section on the bottom there. This is kind of square, rounded square all the way around. So it sets itself apart a little bit from that. And it uses kind of wavy design in the fusion finish as well. And the Toshiba is actually a chrome mirror, so it actually reflects if you look through the Toshiba logo. Now on the bottom, I noticed on here that there isn't a lot of anything that's user serviceable. You've got the big battery right here, and it's flush with it, so it doesn't stick out or bulge out the bottom like some other extended batteries would in some notebooks, which is a nice feature. But when you look on the bottom of the casing here, there's no compartments at all. So nothing on here is user serviceable. You can't upgrade the hard drive or the memory or anything on here because there are no places to get to them. There's no separate bays that you can take off like most computers. I don't know why they did that, but they just did. So I don't know exactly the entire reason for that. And one of the things you may have also noticed when I was going over the ports is you may have noticed they seem to have left out some of the fundamental ports, particularly on this side. There could have been room for something right here, maybe like an express card 34 slot or something like that. I noticed they kind of are slacking on the ports a little bit on this. I don't know why that is. Again, it's just the design and requirements that users wanted, so I guess those ones took priority over what are standard on most laptops. So we're going to look at part 2 of this, and we're going to open it up, and we're going to take a look at the inside and look at that backlit keyboard, and also start the computer up and have a look at the operating system and the features that are part of the E105-S1402.